Hi everybody, just going to do a quick video on a small haul from Sephora. I went there today to a couple of other stores, just kind of browsing. Fairly to moderately disappointed in Sephora, and that's no surprise, being that I went to the Toronto Eaton Centre location. Toronto Eaton Centre is a huge mall here in Toronto, and unfortunately for me, two strikes against me. Number one, the location. Max, I got it right here. He lost his little rawhide, and I have it for him. Number one being that location. Number two, that I decided to go just after what would be, well, probably the lunch hour, which I don't know if you know this, people that aren't in Canada or aren't in Ontario, but they actually let the school children leave the school for lunchtime. So, of course, the school children that are in schools around that major mall are all in the mall. So, and of course, they're in Sephora, clogging up everything, not buying anything, of course. But anyway, so two strikes against me. I walked around probably for about 10 minutes before I actually had to pull someone and say, can you help me? Countless employees walking by, talking to each other. You know, I mean, how much more do I have to stand in front of a particular area before I can get some help? So I finally started to make my way to the cash and then found someone who was just chatting with another employee, and pulled her aside and said, I need some help. So I only got three things, and then I'll tell you about my cashier checkout experience, which was okay. Anyway, I ended up going with the Anastasia Brow Whiz. I was going to get the brow pen, but they didn't have, the only shade they had was the light, which I probably, universal light. It comes in universal light and universal dark, which I probably could have gotten away with, but it was just a bit too light even for my liking. So I ended up going with the Brow Whiz, and I made the person that I got to help me try the shades out, because she actually picked caramel for me, which is not what I would have picked for myself, and that is not what's in the Lavish kit, and I happen to like the Lavish kit very much, but I did try it and swatch it, and it is incredibly appropriate, we'll say. So that was a good choice. Then I got the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion in Anti-Aging, which I've never tried before. I always use the original formula or Eden, and I'm currently still working on my ginormous tube of Eden. So we'll see how this works. I am anxious to try it. I did try it in the store after I managed to get through all the children at the Urban Decay section of Sephora. Yeah. And then finally, I got the Urban Decay Vitamin Infused Complexion Prep Spray. I've used their makeup setting sprays, and they do not work for me, but I am very interested in trying this. I've heard, I think I've seen maybe 2 videos on it. I'm going to see how it goes, because my skin's been pretty oily for the past couple months, and oil absorbing and pore minimizing is what caught my eye. So yeah, so anyway, so that's what I got. But then when I went to go check out, mine wasn't too long, because like I said, the majority of people in there were like school children, so they're all, you know, trying things and putting their fingers in everything and not buying anything. And I was in the line waiting, and the girl called me, and she took my items, and I don't know if you know this, and I'm not saying that I'm one in a million or different than anybody else, because I'm not, but I have VIB Rouge status, which means basically that I spend a lot of money at Sephora. And the girl that rang me up took my card, rang up my items, and I had actually picked, and this item was like open, so she went and got me another one, which was really nice. I offered to do it. She said no, she would do it. And then she literally just pushed the items across the counter at me. And I was like, I just looked at her, and I stood there, and I said, do I have to ask you for a bag? And she goes, oh yeah, sure, here, and hands it to me. And I was like, okay. I'm like, can you put the items in the bag for me? Oh, okay. And then as far as the samples go, usually they put samples in your bag. This is what I got, the Sephora Age Defy cream. And I just, like, it just really, I'm just wondering, like, where did we lose customer service there? And like I said, like, I do have the highest status that Sephora offers me. But regardless of if I do or not, I'm still a VIB. I had to ask you for a bag, and then I had to ask you to put the items in the bag? What? So, yeah. So they give you this little survey thing, which probably nobody cares about, and I'm filling it out. And I'm going to mention it because it deserves to be mentioned. I'm not really sure why that happened. Maybe she's just absent-minded or just didn't want to give me a bag because they don't charge for bags in that store anymore, but it was just really weird. So I have a feeling I'm not going to be keeping my VIB Rouge status anyway, because the only time I have a satisfactory experience at Sephora is when I'm at a Sephora in the US or shopping at Sephora online, because when I'm in Canada at Sephora, I haven't had a good experience in months. So whatever, that's my haul. Thanks so much for watching.